Absolutely. Should I go with the rules?
Yes, please do, as we are all joining via Zoom.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Chairperson Burnett. Good evening, everyone. My name is Kalina Coleman, and I'll be facilitating the Zoom meeting. Here are a few housekeeping items for this virtual meeting. This meeting is being broadcast and recorded on the City of Lawrence YouTube channel. The public chat function is disabled. All chats will go directly to me. When you are not participating in the meeting, please mute your microphone. When you are participating in the meeting, please keep your video on. When you're not participating in the meeting, please turn your video off. You will still be able to hear the meeting. You can turn your video back on when you are participating. Turning your video off when you're not participating allows the active meeting participants to be seen on the screen. If you have any trouble, please send me a chat. The city reserves the right to mute microphones and or turn off people's video to minimize distractions. Please remember to state your name every time you speak for the benefit of those listening remotely. And now I'll return the meeting to Chairperson Barnett.
This is Commissioner Barnett, thank you so much. So naturally, I've already screwed something up and forgot to call the meeting to order. I think the meeting was called to order around 6:15 or 6:16 p.m. If that could be noted in the minutes, I would appreciate it. Let's go directly to approving minutes from August 25th, 2022. I will give everyone a minute to review or raise your hand or unmute yourself and let me know if you have any comments or changes to the minutes. This is Commissioner Barnett. Has everyone had a chance to review the minutes, and does anyone have any comments or questions?
This is Commissioner Emerson. I have had a chance to review the minutes. I do not have any additional comments or questions at this time. Thank you.
This is Commissioner Barnett. I'll go ahead and get a motion to approve the minutes of August 25th, 2022.
This is Commissioner Stevens. I motion to approve the minutes.
Do you have a second?
Commissioner Seiden, I second.
I will take a roll call. Commissioner Gibb?
Aye.
Commissioner Lee? Commissioner Emerson?
Aye.
Commissioner Stevens?
Aye.
Commissioner Seiden?
Aye.
Minutes from August 25th, 2022 are approved. We'll move on to the next agenda item of committee updates, Chapter 10. Commissioner Emerson and Commissioner Seiden, do you mind if we go ahead and move our Chapter 10 update, committee update to agenda item number 2?
This is Commissioner Emerson. I think that's great. Yeah, we can do that.
This is Commissioner Seiden. I think that sounds great.
This is Commissioner Barnett. Thank you so much. I'll move on to the Program Development Committee. Are there any updates from that committee? Oh, Commissioner Lee, we can't hear you. This is Commissioner Barnett. While we get that sorted out, I'll move on to the Cross-Cutting Work Subcommittee, committee. Any updates from that committee?
This is Commissioner Stevens. That's us, right?
This is Commissioner Barnett. Yes.
Okay,
And
I was confused in there. Sorry. We don't have an update this time. We're just looking forward to pushing the movement of this. I guess you call it a coalition forward. Thank you.
This is Commissioner Barnett. Commissioner Lee, do you have any audio? This is Commissioner Barnett again. I think that with what we're going to discuss in agenda item number 2 this evening will really inform the work of our other committees moving forward. I think that there will be a lot to embark on after that advances. So let's get to it.
Sorry for the interruption. Can you hear me now? This is Commissioner Lee.
Commissioner Lee, do you have an update for your Program Development Committee?
Yes. I thank you so much, and sorry for the technical difficulties. I'm going to use my office phone since my audio does not seem to be working on my computer. At this time, we do not have any updates right now. Thank you.
This is Commissioner Barnett. Quick thinking, love it. Okay, so let's move on to agenda item number 2. You know, all of us, I think, are aware of the changes, but again, I just want to kind of go over the timeline of this because it's been in the works for, quite honestly, it's been in the works for 2.5 years. 2.5 years ago, as we discussed last time, City Commission instructed us to re-examine Chapter 10 and take a really long look at what our commission does and what we can improve on. One of the things that we did was unanimously vote to embark on a race and equity survey that was put together by then Human Relations Commissioner Amber Sellers, and then later on we got those survey results, and that was analyzed by KU. The survey results really informed kind of our next steps for Chapter 10. Chapter 10, again, is the chapter that gives the Human Relations Commission the authority to do what we do and kind of sets forth our mission. We have bylaws that buttress that. But really what we found in our, once we commenced our Chapter 10 committee, we quickly found that source of income discrimination was a systemic issue. And with the kind of instruction and blessing of the City Commission and AHAB, a subcommittee was formed with community members where we worked on drafting language in Chapter 10. While that was going on, the county, along with KU and a third party, analyzed housing inequity and a needs assessment that was published in May of 2022. And meanwhile, we had our Human Relations Commission meeting on what we can do for more effective community engagement and outreach. What the Race and Equity Survey showed was that the Human Relations Commission and the city needs to do better with outreach and engagement. And that the second issue was safe and affordable housing is not viewed by the public as accessible regardless of race. And the data that was done by the surveys by KU and the third party in the housing and equity and needs assessment confirmed that and supported what the public was saying. So I just have a couple comments, and if I can get my technology to work. The biggest thing that I want to say to the commission and to the public is that this source of income issue and housing inequity is not new. This is not a new idea that we came up with, and it's not COVID related. I think that there is a sentiment that our housing issues are directly related to COVID, and while that may have enhanced the need, it's not directly related. Refusing to accept vouchers and non-traditional sources of income keeps our city segregated and unhoused. It's systemic and it disproportionately impacts people of color in our community. And these kind of ordinances that we have drafted have been enacted across the country since the 70s. So again, these kind of ordinances are older than most of us. This is not a new idea and it's not a new issue. And so with that, I just want to say that what we've drafted, I think, really advances the city's strategic plan. The changes were reviewed by a team of local and state housing policy experts, including Leah Roslin, who is on the call this evening with the city, and Gabby Sprague, who is with the county, Douglas County, as well as national legal experts on housing. This type of language is supported by the NAACP, the American Bar Association, Poverty Race Research and Action Council, and more. So I'd like to open this up for some comments, but before I do that, I just want to say what we are doing, what we are doing tonight as a Human Relations Commission, and what we're not doing. So the hope this evening is to get a consensus from our commission on advancing the issue of the Chapter 10 changes to City Commission. Once our package or recommendation goes to City Commission, the idea is that the City Commission would authorize a push for community conversations and engagement, send to legal for review, and perhaps direct the legal department to draft an ordinance, and begin city staff conversations on what enforcement of such an ordinance looks like. So what we're not doing this evening is enacting an ordinance. We are not solidifying language for the city to approve or vote on. We are simply saying, here is a package reviewed by our local housing experts as well as state and national experts that say this will help make a change in Lawrence. And with that, we hope that the City Commission will take action. So I would like to limit discussion tonight to, I know you guys got a whole host of documents, Article 13 changes, Article 10 and 13 presentation to AHAB, Chapter 10 changes, and a source of income bundle that was around 400 pages. So I just want to limit it to the Chapter 10 ordinance change document, and then the the Chapter 10 overview, which talks about kind of why we're doing this. It briefly has the changes outlined, and then the frequently asked questions, which was really just sent to advise and keep things timely this evening. Answer any questions ahead of time. And then hopefully if you all like that document, then we can send it to the City Commission as well. So with that, let's first talk about the Chapter 10 ordinance changes. I trust everyone has had a chance to review. I don't know that it behooves us to go through line by line. Again, we're just advancing the idea to City Commission that we support these changes. The two primary changes, of course, are changing the name of of Chapter 10 to Civil Rights, and renaming the division and our commission to the Civil Rights Commission, which we informally voted to support, so we could kind of make these changes and move this forward at our last meeting in August. And then the second change is adding immigration status, source of income, and domestic violence survivors to as protected classes for housing. So what questions do you all have about the Chapter 10 ordinance changes? Just that document.
Hi, this is Commissioner Emerson. Sorry for the background music. But I wanted to just kind of note out just a couple different things. One, I love just the work that has been put in here, the intentionality around the language that we're using in the overview, as well as in the documentation itself, the ordinance language change itself. You know, I would state, you know, there's a couple of paragraphs in where I would hope that we would use a little bit stronger language. For example, the city of Lawrence commits to or continues to commit. As one would say that we would say the city of Lawrence commits opposed to continuing to commit. We just commit. So just things like that. And then outside of that, I believe it's 10-103, if that's correct. I think in our document it had 10-101, but I think it was supposed to be 103. And when we were talking about adding our youth advisor, a youth advisor on there, I think it's great. And looking at changing it to having it say at least one youth, so we have the opportunity to add more youth to increase the access of students having the opportunity to participate civically within our community. So those are kind of the only a couple of things that I would note. So yeah.
This is Commissioner Barnett. Thank you, Commissioner Emerson, for that. I do like the idea of saying at least one. Certainly we have 2 high schools and multiple middle schools. And I think that I don't want to limit the number of minors who want to participate in our commission. I know that we've already voted to add at least one. Then we can add, if we say at least one, then we could add a couple more positions maybe in the bylaws, which I think our cross-cutting work team is working on. I don't think we need to take a vote on that because it could just be something that the cross-cutting work committee works on. But is anyone opposed to saying at least one youth liaison position? We can make a decision later. Okay, hearing none. What other questions and additions do you have to just the Chapter 10 ordinance change, just the law part of it?
This is Commissioner Stevens. I just want to reaffirm that the work that has gone into this is pretty incredible. I think that, you know, for a long time, like you said, for 2 years at least, we have been kind of swimming, trying to figure out what our actual impact can be into the community that we say we serve, because most of them didn't know what we did. And so these proposed changes and the work that you've done, the work that former Chair Sellers has done, and the rest of this commission has done, will help to solidify the fact that we are actually intentional about at least making firm recommendations, right? And that it's the commission's job to listen to the people. But I think that it's really important, the language changes, and just the fact that we're seeing people that are otherwise ignored and completely isolated and further marginalized. So thank you, I appreciate you.
This is Commissioner Barnett. Thank you so much. Does anyone have any questions before we move on to the memo and frequently asked questions document? Okay, moving on, we do have an accompanying memo and frequently asked questions. There's a lot of data in there. I really worked so hard with the committee. They put the subcommittee of our community nonprofit organizations and the city and county who put so much work into this on a daily basis. None of us are really housing experts, but they are, and they have helped say, what are the questions that people have every day, that the public has, property owners, investors, landlords, renters? What do the tenants, what kind of questions do the tenants have about voucher acceptance, and what would they need to know as this moves forward? They use their expertise, they used research and information to help form the answers to those questions, as you see in the pages under frequently asked questions. And I think this document is excellent, and I think it really helps answer a lot of questions. So we're not having the same conversation about source of income. For instance, what does source of income have to do with the Human Relations Commission? What does it have to do with civil rights and racial disparity? And, you know, all of this falls under source of income discrimination. All of the data that has come out from the city and county says when property owners don't accept vouchers, the data shows that they are discriminating based on people of color, women, and those with disabilities. And those are the classes that Chapter 10 charges us to protect. So I just want to say that there are a ton of explanatory paragraphs in here that really help, and I certainly don't need to reiterate that to you all, but I do want your input on moving this forward to the City Commission for review. And I think, Commissioner Emerson, you had some language that you would like to see inserted that would change maybe just a few of the words, but substantively, what do you all think about the document, and do you support moving it forward to City Commission for review?
This is Commissioner Emerson. I'll just go ahead and jump in here. Yes, you're right. You know, there are some words, but nothing in where I would say substantial. When it comes to the FAQs, again, I'm right with you. I think it is an amazing document. It will really help inform our community. The only note there I had was in regards to our language around why are we wanting to have youth representation, to talk a little bit more about helping create students or individuals to be civically engaged, but that's besides the point. So with all that, I still believe that this can move forward, and we're ready.
Commissioner Barnett, I also wanted to echo that sentiment. I think it's an excellent document and appreciate the work. I know a lot of it was done before I came on the commission, so I look forward to seeing this make its first steps forward to the City Commission.
This is Commissioner Barnett. Thank you all so much. And just again, a huge thank you to the housing team who worked on this. They've provided me with so much insight that I hopefully have conveyed to the Human Relations Commission. Commissioner Emerson and Commissioner Seiden have helped me work on this, and I am just, I'm ready to move this forward if this commission is. If I don't have any objections to advancing the package that was included in the agenda as well as the overview, I just wanted to, not to confuse things, but the overview, I wanted to get your opinion because you guys have never seen that document before. So before we do anything, I just wanted to make sure you're okay with that. Commissioner Emerson and anyone else, I would just invite you maybe within the next 24 or 48 hours to get me small language changes that you have or that you'd like to see to that. And I can make those changes. Notwithstanding those changes, could I entertain a motion to send the package to City Commission with minor edits for consideration and discussion with the hopes they will send it to legal to draft an ordinance.
This Commissioner Syden, I would move to advance it.
Commissioner Stevens, I second that.
Commissioner, I'll take a roll call. Commissioner Gipp,
Aye.
Commissioner Lee,
Aye.
Commissioner Emerson,
Aye.
Commissioner Stevens,
Aye.
Commissioner Syden.
Aye.
Okay, thank you so much. I will move on to commission items. Do any commissioners have any commission items not on the agenda they would like to bring up this evening? Seeing none, I'll open it up for public comment. Leah Rosalind, this is Commissioner Barnett. Leah Rosalind, would you like to make some public comment?
I just want to publicly thank you, Commissioner Barnett, for all the work that you've done on this. It's been an extraordinary task, and as you explained, we see the impact of this every day. Those of us who work in affordable housing, and what a barrier it is to most of the folks in our community who are not privileged to have wages that support the cost of living in Lawrence. So I really appreciate the work, and thank you to all of you for advancing this forward.
This is Commissioner Barnett. Thank you, Leah. Kalina, do we have any public comment? Anyone signed up for public comment?
This is Kalina Coleman. No, I'm not seeing any.
Okay. This is Commissioner Barnett. Seeing none online either. Again, just a huge thank you to the housing team who met, all of us, Commissioner Emerson, Commissioner Syden, all of us who met every other week for the last at least 9 months, I think it's been. And I know that this ordinance is a chess, not checkers approach to our houselessness issue in Lawrence. But this is something that really catches us up with other similarly situated cities, and we can be the best in the state of Kansas and in our region if the city commission chooses to draft an ordinance. So I think that this ordinance achieves what we were asked to do by the city commission in 2020. It's analyzed a lot of data from our own community that shows how inherently racist these issues are. And I hope that this is a small step in advancing equity in our city. Thank you all so much. And do I have a motion to adjourn this evening?
This is Commissioner Lay. I move that we go ahead and adjourn.
Commissioner Stevens, I second.
Commissioner Gipp,
Aye.
Commissioner Lee,
Aye.
Commissioner Emerson,
Aye.
Commissioner Stevens,
Aye.
Commissioner Syden.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you all so much. Have a great evening.